I went to the haunted house at St. Finbar.
Is that where Mr. L was?
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
Wow. So, obviously, the entertainment you went for was definitely there.
Oh, definitely.
Was it scary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Al, you best step forth at this juncture. Your weekend.
Talk about football.
Your weekend.
We can do that next break.
And we're gonna. But your weekend.
What about the football?
Your weekend was
Redskins
spent
lost.
as the mad game show host.
Yeah.
Crazy,
yeah.
demented game show host.
A lot of people come to the haunted house?
We had a great turnout.
Great.
I mean, many more people than last year. And at one point, there were obviously a lot of Mark and Brian listeners coming through because it seemed like every couple of groups someone would yell out hooty hoo. Or one point, there was a lady in the middle of my whole spiel as the game show host. She starts taking off her shirt, and I'm thinking, what is she doing? But she has underneath, she has a Mark and Brian T-shirt, and she wants to show it to me. So she's turning around dancing. Look at my shirt! I'm wearing a Mark and Brian shirt. Look at me!
So Adrian, how was Mr. Owl's performance of the maniacal game show host?
He was fabulous.
Was he?
Yeah. It was. Okay, remember when he was in Sexpo?
Yes.
And his nice little dance that he had going on there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, now just do that times 10.
Oh, wow.
So I took some of that, the little dancing around, and it was kind of we had the whole drill where you meet bachelor number 1 and bachelor number 2, and then when we're about to bring out the third guy who's the dream date, he gets brutally murdered in silhouette behind the screen, and then instead of the bachelor coming out, the mad killer comes out and chases everybody out of the room.
Oh my God!
See?
Oh, it's exciting stuff.
I know it was.
Now, were you frightened at any given point during the visit?
No, I went with Pam Baker, and we laughed so hard when we walked through the curtain.
Well, there was a lot of humor in it for the adults because really here's what it works. The kids who are like 5th, 6th grade, they'll get some scares out of it because there's people jumping out of them in the dark, and at one point the lights go out and we sprayed them with hot water that felt like blood, and we had some scary effects that were targeted for the kids, and then so the adults didn't get bored going through it. We threw in a few jokes, a little comedy in the cannibal room, and with the reporter who gets killed, and she's got a 17 hyphen surname, Diana Louisa Maria Faria Johnson, whatever her name was. We threw in a few little jokes that only the adults would get.
Sure.
But now the blood, when they spray the blood on you, that was supposed to be for the kids to be scared, because that actually scared me.
Well, there you go. You got scared a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, great. That was the scariest room.
Was it in the dark?
Yeah,
Okay.
right at the moment the guy's about to plunge the knife in, the lights go out, and the girl who's supposedly gotten stabbed, she sprays hot water on the audience.
Nice effect.
Yeah. And then the light, and then she falls down, and you see when the lights are on, she looks normal, and then when she falls down during the dark, she turns over, and you see the other side of her, which is all bloodied up, and the lights come back on, and it looks like she's just been stabbed.
That's a very cool effect.
Yeah,
now,
that was a good one.
Now, the kids, the younger ones that perhaps are just old enough to get through, or maybe not, did you have any crying? Did you have any?
Yeah. And then whenever we cried, those of us, whenever we heard a crier somewhere going through the house, you'd hear comments like, "He shoots, he scores," because that was kind of the
great.
Someone's going out, and then a couple of people had to leave halfway through and use the emergency exit because it got to be a little too intense.
Well, I tell you, there is a dentist up by where we live that every year he does this, and he does it actually a little too well. On Halloween, on that very day, his patients are invited to come back, where he shut down his office, and you go through the demented dentist's office, and it was a little too scary, because you know how dentists, they have 7 or 8 different rooms where you can go and get in the chair. Well, this is, of course, the dental visit gone wrong. And each room has something different that's happened to the victim. And it's too scary. He does an incredible, he makes the front page of the paper every year.
Oh, cool.
He goes nuts. He brings special effects people in, and most kids can't take it.
Not a good day, I guess, to schedule your root canal.
I'm thinking not
for that guy.
That's the great thing about being out here in L.A. is because you have access to so much more stuff, and anywhere you can go, you can buy top quality wounds and effects and artificial legs and stuff.
Top quality.
Yeah, it's good.
Katie on line 1 was at your haunted house, Mr. L. Katie?
Yeah,
How old are you?
8.
How was the haunted house?
I thought it was really scary. I didn't go through the whole thing because I thought it was going to be really, really scary.
Yeah.
A little too scary.
Shoot the score.
What part did you leave after the bald guy with the white head comes chasing you out with the chainsaw? That got a lot of them.
That got a lot.
Bald guy with a white head.
Oh yeah.
I don't think she got too
Ralph,
far.
This is Katie's mom.
Hi.
She left at the point where we were watching the television,
Well, that's right at the beginning.
right at the beginning,
Oh,
and
no.
the Burbank slasher came out, and she said, "I'm not going in this." But my husband and I and Katie's friend Jessica ended up going in, and
And Jessica was screaming because on the part where the operation is,
Oh, the morgue. Yeah, that's good stuff.
the person who was operating went by her with the liver.
You know what the cool thing is? Is the people who run that morgue room, they all are real actual doctors and nurses.
So they
bring
know.
over all the stuff from the hospital, and they have some fun. They get really wild. They fill up a syringe with like cranberry juice, and they're like drinking out of the syringe, and they're
great.
flopping livers around.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
just
I
awesome.
loved it.
Well, most of your local haunted houses, they made quite a good weekend. They made a lot of money. In fact, yesterday Matthew and I were driving to the mall, and we passed by the sheriff's department where I had my arresting happen and spent the afternoon. And because yesterday they were having haunted jail. And the lines were all the way around the block. Matthew goes, "Hey, Dad, let's pull in there. We go to the haunted jail." And I said, Matt, there's some things in there that actually scare me. I've had some experience
Yeah.
in there. Maybe we should just move on and we'll come to it.
I think when you come to the portion that's called the maniacal cell bitch,
I have the inspiration for that
kids don't mind it so much,
Right.
but the parents have a
one.
problem.
Yeah, some of us just feel a little uncomfortable in that area.
All right. Well, congratulations. So you made a lot of money for charity.
Yeah,
Great.
It was a successful event. We had
Super.
a lot of happy people, and it was just a blast. And I managed to you guys reminded me on Friday
Yeah.
that I had lost my voice last weekend. I tell you, I honestly had put that out of my mind and forgotten. So because you reminded me on Friday, I thought, you know what, I'm going to change up my screaming a little bit, and it's still a little raw, but it's
But-
much better than it was.
Did we hear a taast of that maniacal laugh there just a second ago? Was it-
Well, you know what? Last year I was doing all that that kind of stuff. This year I was doing more of the game show talk.
Oh,
so
very
it's a little easier on the voice when you're doing. I bottled it after Biff and Biff on the Home Shopping Network.
Well, you've got to be tired because that was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right?
Yeah, we went last night
Oof.
until I got home around 10 or 11 last
Dude,
night.
you've got to be tired. No question
Yeah.
about it. Well, that's great that you would do that. The church made a ton of money, and so
It's
congratulations.
fun, and all the parents. It's more fun really for the parents than for the kids. Although I'll tell you, my daughter went through about 7 or 8 times. I'm thinking it probably cost me more. She took me off. But come on, you've seen it. Yeah. By the end, she's coming through the last group. It's like when you go through the haunted mansion. She's doing the lines by heart in every room.
well, she was proud of her dad.
Yeah,
Wanted
and
to
my
show her
wife
dad
was,
off.
was the next room over in the cannibal
Oh,
room. They had a lot of
that's
jokes
Your
in
wife,
there.
your wife was a cannibal?
Yeah, she was
Oh,
one of the cannibals
okay.
with her friend with Molly and her friends, and they were ordering out for Chinese. They ordered some young guy, and all the kids in the room go. They know the jokes by that point. So they start going by heart.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
God.
cool.